Hello, welcome to Actual Play Apocalypse Keys. Thanks everyone for joining us. This is rescheduled from our normal time because I was off on my anniversary trip with my wife. It's very exciting. It was very fun. But I'm excited to be here now. I am Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm playing Ember, who uses she, her pronouns. Ember is a creature summoned from the obsidian realm, the cinder realm, and her mama has all sorts of power over fire and steel, and she borrows it from her, and gets really emo all the time. That's just who Ember is. So yeah, I'm very excited to play Ember as she goes through her counseling session with Rosario 06. How about you, Jen?
Hello, I'm Jen Martin. I use she, her pronouns. I will be playing Civ, the Found, who uses they, them pronouns. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing Ember being all emo at the sort of not therapist, while concurrently, fighting a monster that we just started to see at the end of last session, scratching through the walls or something. So that ought to be fun. Morgan, what about you?
Hey, I'm Morgan. I use they, them, and she, her pronouns interchangeably. Yeah, we're playing this game. It's been a while. I completely forgot what we were doing. But I play Celine, who uses she, her pronouns. She's the pure. She, just sacrifices to a volcano to appease some gods, quote unquote. And now we're here. We're realizing there's some clones and that are of Celine that keep getting sacrificed to a monster that lives as the island, in the island, is the island. I don't know.
Bigger than the
we'll,
island.
figure, we'll figure that out as we go.
Unclear.
It will find out together. And yeah, so we're on an adventure, y'all. Jamie, hello. How are you?
Hello. Hi. I'm doing pretty good. Hi, everybody. I'm Jamie. I use they, them pronouns. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. I am the keeper for this adventure. I wrote this mystery because I was just suddenly gripped with a deep love for giant monsters and Evangelion. I just needed to write it out. So here we are. It's been very cool so far. Yeah, so it's been a while. I think this is a good opportunity for us to um, do a recap on where we've been so far. I do want to stress that we have our safety tools in play. We did lines and veils before we came on the stream. And of course, we have script change if we want to pause and check in, if we want to stop and take a break, if we want to fast forward to the next scene, or if we want to rewind and change any aspect of any part of the story. That is totally cool. We can do that at any time, even if it happened last week or a few weeks ago. Well, last week or a few weeks ago. That's totally fine. And we also have an open door policy. So if we need to step away for any reason, please feel free to do so. But yeah, so we are playing the mystery, The Missing Link. And we know that the pilot, Luna Nakahara, is missing along with their Halima, which is harder to misplace an entire monster that's like several stories high, taller than most buildings. But their Halima, Hydra Omicron, has also gone missing. You saw the footage last time. You saw clear signs of possession right before they disappeared. I will also point out that the Halima Hydra Omicron's abilities are a little strange. With Luna, they're able to create a sword that looks suspiciously like one of the swords that Ember's mom has a tendency to use. So there is that. And yeah,
Nice.
so what else are we looking at? So we're on Island Zero. This is the same island that that Celine happened to be sacrificed at. You know, totally a coincidence. Absolutely. Um, and there's an interdimensional rift that was opened 20 years ago. and big, huge rift monsters come through every so often. And that's where the teens of the Halimau, who are psychically bonded, have to push back and protect this point, or else the entire world will be overrun. And so, some other things we unearth is, oh yeah, we got super specific about Celine's destiny to become the queen of monsters. We had the clones um, accuse Celine of not following that destiny. We'll see if that's really true or what that means. We know that the sleeping monster below the island, if it ever fully awakens, it would tear the world apart. And we found out that it was the monster that Celine was sacrificed to, not actually the volcano. And each sacrifice has looked like Celine. And now we have clones hidden away underneath, whatever for. So we will find out those things. But yeah, so the clues we have so far, we have 4 Apocalypse keys. We have Apostle Solar. This is the Halimau, one of the pilots. They know that their pilot had false memories implanted. They're worried that this happened to the other pilots. Electra Rogue is a Halimau who refused to completely die. She protected her pilot, Fletcher Payne, who is now the commander of this entire outpost. Ember's mother wants this power to force monsters into subjugation throughout the realms. And Civ's creator programmed the Halimau to have a berserk contingency that would most likely kill the pilot. This is what happened to Electra Rogue. And there are clones of Celine down below near the huge monster of the island. So that's quite a lot. So we have 4 keys. We have a pretty good chance of solving the mystery of the session. I say that, but we'll see what actually happens. So no pressure. This may be the last session, or this may be the second to the last session. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear. And last time we left off, so Ember we met a few interesting NPCs last time. In particular, we met, let's see, Kaya Rosario, who is the head scientist, also used to be a pilot. And so their mutation is every once in a while, a quotation mark clone comes out of the rift. That just happens to have all of their memories, but they have different personalities. They're naturally occurring clones. Though the Rosario that you talked to, they have a different opinion. They don't think it's actually a clone. They think it's more of a reality bending multiverse sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's Rosario 03 that has that theory, versus Rosario 01, who is currently on break, and Rosario 06 that I'm going to go talk to.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, because there are a total of, I wrote down, it's here somewhere. There are a total of 24 clones. So we're not going to meet all 24 today, I think. So just going to put that out there. We also found out more about the maker of Civis. So we'll see. We know that Civis's memories have been tampered by the maker in some way. We know that the maker is here. They had performed experiments on the pilots of the Halimau. But we also know that that Fletcher Payne isn't, even though they're the commander, he doesn't know everything that's going on. He's gone so far as to say, don't tell him everything that you find out. He's worried that he may be compromised in a way that he's not aware of. So there is that. Yeah, and so what happened was we ended with Ember getting into the life advice section with Rosario in this very comfy place while the pilots were outside playing D&D, and people were like hanging out. Meanwhile, Celine and Civis went deeper into the base to see what they could find, more clues, see what they could dig up. Unfortunately, when they reached the area where the Halimau are usually asleep, that's when they found evidence of something having come through. The entire section of that wall has been torn through. There's another monster hiding in the dark, the huge darkness of this facility, and that's where we ended last time. Yeah. So, is there anything else we wanted to clarify before we jump into it?
just the Ember is having very strong feels about Civ taking her power and using it against her, and what that means about Civ and their relationship and the nature of Ember's power, and whether it's really just for her or if really anybody could have it, and if she is as special as her mom said that she was, or if that was all a lie just to control her. Yes. And also, what does it mean to have somebody else who has colossal strength, and like, could that be a good thing? Yeah, there's lots of feels around those lines.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to cut back and forth between Ember working out these feelings and whatever is going on.
Is Ember laying on the couch, staring at the ceiling?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
believe
I just
Rosaria
had to get
has
the
a
visual,
settee,
so.
and Ember is there. In fact, Ember's hand is like draped down on one side, and we'll sort of see what her hand is doing on the ground. But like, she looks very reclined, but outside of Rosario's vision, she's like etching runes on the ground with her finger, with her index finger. But keeps forgetting to do it because she's actually very invested in talking to Rosario.
Right, right. And so I think we cut to, so we see like as you described, Ember on the city, and then so Rosario, they sit down. Their hair is down compared to the other Rosario that you saw. They're not wearing glasses, and they smile gently at you and they say, "I sense that you have a lot that you haven't been able to process or talk through."
If I were to say all the things that occupy my mind and rack my nightmares, we would be here until the sun went cold. Yeah, yes, yeah, but there are actually a few that I would like to talk about specifically. There's some things that don't add up, and I don't understand. I've heard you're very good at helping people understand when things don't make any sense, not because they're overwhelmed by their feelings, but just because they have to make sense of it all. That's definitely what I'm here to do, is just make sense of, to unravel the mystery here, not because it's confusing and scary.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Rosario sits down next to you and asks, "There is a way that I could help you to talk this out. And who better to talk it out than with yourself? Do I
No,
have..."
no, that's a very bad idea. I don't summoning another denizen from my mother's realm would surely lead to bloodshed and broken steel. Yeah, and like Ember's like crawling like back in the settee, like, no, I don't like that at all. This is very bad. I'm very uncomfortable.
And Rosario just places a hand, "If you're not ready. But what I do offer is the opportunity to talk to your future self."
Her eyes just kind of go wide. Um, I think we should like, I don't know if you have in mind, but I feel like obviously Ember's gonna go for it. So I think you should assume that she says yes, but I don't think she says, okay, let's do that. She just kind of goes like wide eyed. And I think we should cut to what's happening above in the
Absolutely. And then so we cut back to our other agents from division, and so Celine and Civis, you can feel the air is crackling with some sort of energy. You can see the cut through the metal. There's like slime over every part of that cut, and the slime is like moving on its own, and it's pulling in the light in strange ways as you look at it, and very, way too close for comfort, you can sense something breathing, and the breath rushes out and fills out the area. You can feel how wet the air is from that breath, and there's this low growl that starts to rumble from the other side, and you just hear the sound of several eyes opening and closing. So, what do you do?
What kind of thoughts or feelings am I hearing from this scary
I
thing?
love that.
Perfect time, perfect time. What you're picking up is it's a lot of pain. You can feel how this creature is forced to do something it doesn't want to do.
Mm,
And you can feel how just existing in this world is painful for it. And you can sense it's trying to resist, but in so doing, it's just creating more pain and more anger. You can tell it's about to explode.
mhm.
Do you want to
Uh,
try to go in deeper?
I do, yes, in fact. Um, I am. How many darkness am I going to spend on this? I'm going to spend 2 darkness on this, so I will have none left. So I will have to get some more later.
Well, if you tell me that you're feeling scared or frustrated, that would kind of make sense in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely am feeling scared because, monster, but it's cool. I rolled a 7, so that's a 9.
Nice, nice. And are we using You Can't Hide Your Heart from Me just to be.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome, awesome. Right, so perfect. Exactly hit. On an 8 to 10, you can sense more under the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Ask 2 questions, and you can feel its mind opening up to you almost
Mm-hmm.
too easily. You can tell that someone else did this before you did.
Okay, interesting. Um, hmm. What do you wish would happen?
Ooh. As you sense and ask that question, you can feel in your mind these visions come forth of the world exploding, great violence. You can see buildings falling down. There's this desire for violence, for destruction, but only because it believes it has to. You can sense that it feels like it needs to destroy this world in order to save its own.
Okay, interesting. Um, how can I make you trust me?
It only understands a master who takes.
Okay.
It hasn't known any other way to connect to a being, anything that resembles kindness or understanding. It won't comprehend it.
Yeah.
So basically, just to be absolutely clear, you have to act like you're its new master.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I relay all of that to Celine.
And I think as that information starts to come forth, that's when you notice the slime just starts pouring towards your direction.
Mm-hmm.
It comes into soft wave. It goes up like halfway to the knees. And then as it comes out of the darkness, it's just several eyes across something that kind of looks like a head. And but there's just wait, I'm gonna check our safety tab just to be on the safe side. Like I'm just going
How
to
big is this monster? Because I don't know if I should
yeah.
be thinking like 5 stories tall or like 1 story tall or.
Oh, good question. Good question. This one's like about, it's smaller than the other one that you saw when you came here, but it's still about 10 stories, which is still like ridiculous. But it's not the same as earlier where it was like 30, 40 story tall
Okay.
monster. So it's still a chunky
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
It's still a chunky boy.
Still way bigger than me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine.
But yeah, okay, I double checked our safety, yeah, just to be sure. All right, and so it's covered in eyes, and you also notice that there's just so many of these mouths that open and close, and it's speaking in this language that you can't understand, but because you're psychic, you can understand the thought behind the
Mm-hmm.
words, right? And so it's just murmuring over and over again, plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed, and it comes closer and closer, like the eyes widening, the mouth opening.
I think Celine's gonna look at Civ and be like, how am I gonna word this? Like, how do you want to protect yourself?
I mean, I was going to ask if you're interested in being its new master because I think that you're probably going to do a better job of it than me.
Wait, what? I'm just getting you a weapon. I'm not going. It's fine now.
It needs a new master.
Can
Uh,
we put it back where it belonged, or so help me? Like,
nice one. Maybe it pretty much just wants to destroy, and that we can't befriend it. It doesn't know friendship. It just knows being told what to do.
should we destroy it?
I mean, I don't want to if we don't have to. It's chanting plant the seed, though. Does that mean anything to you?
Not that I know of.
No.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to remember Celine?
Oh gosh, yes. Yes.
I feel like there's just a very short cut to Ember being like, I was just always told that I should follow orders, and if I like, like she's telling the story of master and one who is controlled.
And then there's a shortcut to Civ
nice.
going, man, I wish Ember was here.
All right. What am I rolling?
Ooh, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to listen to the dark. And if you can do that without, because what we're trying to do is you're going to try to go through your memories. Let me describe what that looks like at first. Yeah. As Sibs asks, does that mean anything to you? Plant the seed. That's when you get this impression somewhere in the past, someone painting the sacred symbol on your near your chest, like on your clavicle, and you can hear someone murmuring, "You will plant the seed, my love." And so let's see if he can remember with any clarity what that means.
Wait. You are not alone. So when a monster's about to listen to the dark, reach out to them psychically and tell them why they shouldn't be afraid. Then I roll it, but at an advantage.
Ooh, there is
I don't know if you want to do that, Morgan. It's totally cool if not.
I was also gonna say, as that memory comes back, I think I can start feeling overwhelmed with emotion. And I'm gonna take 3 tokens from that. Yeah. But nice. I already had 2 that I already took off just because I was gonna use it for this roll. So I'm just gonna add 3 and not touch it. So yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
Jen, do what you're gonna do now.
Yep, roll 3 dice. So I get to roll 1 extra one, and then I pick 2. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a 6 and a 3 to make a 9.
Oh, perfect. And so what does it look like when you reach out psychically and take this test for them?
I think in my head, the way that I kind of see it is I sort of send a light from my own mind to their mind, and then it sort of like lights up in a sphere so that there's light in between them and whatever, and the darkness, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I really
so
like
I'm
that.
not rolling now? You're rolling, or?
Oh, were you okay with that? Sorry, I should have been
more clear. I just didn't realize. But now I'm at 5 darkness tokens, so we'll get to that afterwards. We'll get to that in a minute.
Sorry.
If you want to change it to 4 tokens instead, that's okay. But that would
I've already chosen this. This isn't. We're just gonna ride the darkness wave. It's okay.
I kind of like that though. That kind of makes sense.
It fits. It does feel right.
right. Or Celine's reacting. Okay. But yeah, and then so Civis, you can feel that emotional wave like about to crest and bury Celine, but you're able to hold it back. And Celine, there's a moment where you see that person with clarity, because this whole time they've just been shadowed, and you haven't been able to get a good look at them. And when you do, you realize that it is someone who looks a lot like Luna. Like the face is almost exactly the same, but they're just older than you. and they place their forehead against yours, and they say, "If we had any other choice, my dear sister, we wouldn't have to do it this way." And you hear your own voice respond, "Remember, I chose this. I will plant the seed, and the world will be reborn in a way to save all of us." And you start to see what that means, where the seed travels into the monster, and the monster is supposed to create havoc in the world. So you understand that what this monster is trying to do, the one that's just broken through into the outpost, they're trying to forcibly wake the monster down below.
Say that last part again, real quick, Jimmy. What are they
Oh,
trying to do?
they're trying to forcibly awake the monster down below, the one that can't be woken up no matter the cost.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. This is great. This is fine. If I wasn't
Everything's
already
fine.
overwhelmed with darkness, I'd take more darkness.
So I feel like before we get into that, let's cut back to Ember real quick. I will say that the monster sort of rises, recognizing your power, Celine, and it's screeching, and you can see like the metal buckles in response to its scream. But you are unaffected by the scream somehow, like it's not allowed to touch you in some way. But we're gonna cut back
I'm
to
affected.
Ember. Oh,
I'm scared. I'm taking darkness.
Love it. So good. Yes.
So we cut back to Ember, and
Yeah.
you were talking about the becoming a master and so on.
Yeah. There's a thing I want to do. Tell me if this is possible. So Ember came down here ostensibly to talk to Rosario, but really, or at least her original agenda was to try and find the clones, the facility the clones are in. And she kind of like was like, yeah, I'll talk to you, Rosario, to try and I'll go see your clone, but thought she'd actually be seeking this out, and so I want to act on that a little bit, and then kind of like cut to the actual counseling session part of it. If that's cool.
Yeah, sure.
Last time I took a move called Borrowed Power. The walls of this world can't hold back your power. When you summon a creature connected to your darkness, describe what it is and how it will help you. And I think I'm drawing these rune symbols in the ground, and they start like my finger gets hotter and hotter until the point where it's like burning into the metal. And we see this rune symbol, and then out of it comes this, or the intent at least, is out of it will come this creature of flame and shadow, this little like impish figure, only, less than a foot tall, kind of hard to see, because it can like fold shadows around itself, or it can like reveal like the flames beneath. It has a tail, and its eyes look very, very much like both Ember's and her mother's. These very, I believe Ember has eyes of brightest gold. Yeah, that's these golden eyes. They don't quite have the luster of Ember, her mother, but they're very similar.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's roll to see how much in control you are. Of the creature.
And I want to spend. I'm going to spend 3 darkness on this because it's really important to me. I'll probably regret that, but let's see what happens. Yep, definitely not the right choice. So that's a 12.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so on an 11 plus, you barely have this creature under control. It will do as you ask, but you must pay the price and choose one: mark doom or lose 1 bond. Let me play out what happens, and then you tell me what choice you make. So the imp, as you inscribe onto the floor and the runes of fire come to life, we can see the floor starts to shift and move. And we first see like its back breaking through, and then the little wings come out, and then there's this soft voice that only you can hear. I'm gonna say, like, you notice that with Rosario and everything else, for that moment, like everything freezes, It's so strange to see that look of open concern freeze for a moment like Crystal. But the imp breaks forth and says, "Hello, daughter of ash, daughter of broken blackened bone. I am here as you summoned, as your mother said you would. She has given me great power to serve you." And it smiles like a little too wide across the face, reaching up to the ear. And you realize the reason why you barely have this creature under your control is because your mother has given it power.
Yep, absolutely. I think I'm gonna lose a bond on my mother. I think that this was like this is I have a bond with the Queen of the Ember Throne, and I think like uh, actually yeah I think that this is me cashing in that chip and knowing that this creature is ultimately under control of my mother. And it's very frustrating because I want it to be mine, but it's not. And so I say, I just need a simple task, and and
Ooh,
like
would you like me to kill them? And they go up to Rosario and they're like,
no, 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 it's not what I need.
"Oh, possess the children outside."
No, stop. No more ideas from you. You don't, you're not, please don't contribute any ideas. Um, I, I need to find a laboratory. I need to find a place where there are many like my companion Celine, and I need it left intact. Nobody killed.
You can see like they're about to go, "Oh, okay, fine. You summon me here with my powers of fire and destruction to what? Observe?"
To find, to seek, and to do so stealthily. And I think like she kind of exerts like her tiny bit of control over it. She like waves her hand over, and you see like the shadows kind of wrap around it a little bit more. Like it could break out again, but like I'm like, you have this ability to conceal yourself. Use it.
You would hide my beauty from this world that does not know what is beautiful? Very well.
Yeah.
And you can see it like it's barely there, like it's like as you said, you can see how the light bends around to like hide it from view. You know that you're the only one who can see it at this
Mm.
point. uh and they throw their head back, go, "Very well, I will find this one, the destruction child. Yes, Celine, I will find many of them. You say many of her."
Indeed, yes. Find, and this is a little of Ember trying to forestall, hopefully, the inevitable. Find the Queen of Monsters. I'm sure my friend Celine is not the one they mean.
Of
Um,
course. And it like cocks its head. "I Very well. If you need this lie, I will not take it from you. I will find another queen of monsters then."
Ember's like and then kind of turns back to it. Like it's important that there's only one, and it's not my companion Celine. It's some other one. I'm sure she's not the baddie. I'm positive of this.
And so you see, so it crawls across the wall, like what very quickly gets towards the vent, and it like flattens itself really thin, like in order to get through the vent, and pops back out. You
Nice.
can you can see it, and then it scrambles away. It's like, I will find my master, and when I'm there, I will let you know. I will set up a portal as you like. And then you can hear, like, it pauses for a moment, like it's talking to someone else, and you realize it's your mother checking in. Um, and you can hear the imp respond with, "Yes, yes, she seemed fine. Yes, I. It appears she is eating. How would I know?" And then just goes off into the vent.
She's eating. I love it. So good.
And so, but as we come back to you, time moves again, and Rosario, you can tell that they think something is slightly off, but they can't place their finger on it. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Very well. Let us go into the breathing exercises. You are ready to rewrite your story. Yes?"
And Ember, I think, still looks like extremely uncomfortable with this, but she's like, "Yes, I would definitely like. You can't, you can't rewrite your story. What is etched in stone can never be changed. Our deeds live on us like scars. Yeah. I'll try it. Okay, let's try. Let's try the breathing exercise.
And Rosara's like, excellent. And she picks up a Tibetan singing bowl, like this metallic bowl, and she starts along with it. Now, together, breathing.
And there's like little entrails of smoke, like wafting, around her nose. And she breathes in. Like
And I,
bellows in her chest. You see like her chest kind of like turn like red for a moment as like the fire within is fueled.
perfect. And so as that bellow occurs and the smoke and the sound of the ringing, we cut back to by this point the monster has like reached out this long strong arm, like you can see the claws. Its arm mostly ends in like claws as it rends through it, and it kind of mimics the sound of that metal singing bowl, and the slime changes into this porous gaseous form as it fills up the entire room, and it's just chanting over and over again, yes, and it comes close to you, Celine. Plant the seed, and it starts reaching out towards you.
Okay, so first off, we need to handle my corruptor soul
Ooh, yes.
because I have 5 tokens. So is it just 2d6? Is that right?
That's right. It's before we do that, tell me, what does the darkness demand of you in this moment, considering it sees you as the queen of monsters?
Oh, to roll to destroy I don't know. Oh god, I'm going off the deep end here. um,
The two things your darkness wants of you is to never fall in love and to erase humanity itself.
yeah, that's the one. It's the race humanity part. It's to claim the queen of monsters and erase humanity. That's what's going on. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you got the tools to do that. Just wake up this little island, and
Yeah.
the whole world will collapse.
No big deal.
Yeah. So it feels like maybe, take the power onto yourself and like and start the process. Does that sound appropriate?
Yeah.
I love Jen's face. Okay, so roll, and it's at you'll have to use your 3 tokens. We'll see if you get to keep them or not. So, but for now, just roll, and
okay,
with a mandatory +3.
8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no! I got an 11 with the +3.
Okay, so you can't hold it back. Ooh, choose one. Mark 2 conditions to keep control, or mark doom twice and do something worse.
Look at my conditions.
How many? Oh, you still have 3.
Yeah, I do. I'm not completely all done.
What move were you trolling?
Corrupt soul. It's on the basics.
It's on the basics.
Yeah. I think it's. Let me double check. I think maybe.
Or it's situational. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
There we go. Okay, just so that folks on stream can see too.
So yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to, for now, keep things under control.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna mark 2 conditions.
Ooh, which ones are you marking?
Vicious and obsessed or hopeless.
Both strong.
Both are strong. I think obsessed just because I think she's trying to cling on to that, just that ounce of hope. And I think that's gonna be the last one when she gives up.
Nice.
Because when she gives up that hope, she becomes an atomic bomb. Like
that's a good point. Point.
Yep.
So
when
what
you
is
mark
it?
all your conditions, you hit your breaking point. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So what does it look like as you struggle with your emotions to control yourself? What does it look like on the outside?
I think from the outside it looks like just her eyes start glowing white again. Her body starts glowing white, like the vibrations are coming off. And I think as the monster's getting closer, it's not attacking the monster. It's almost like that claw that's coming towards her. I think it's enveloping just a little bit, not like destroying, but like more like a comfort like ribbon wrap over it. And that's how it's starting to look like that she's starting to like accept the powers or like pull them in or something. And then as she's just, I think, realizing and breaking and pulling away, I think it just shatters like glass. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And I think in response, the monster reels back, lets out this huge scream, and you can hear, like, I forgot to mention, the whole time the alarms have been going off. You can hear people are scrambling, trying to respond in time. You hear nearby one of the monsters, one of the Halimau, its tube starts to activate, and you can, Civis, you can feel it reaching out, trying to force itself awake sooner than the systems will normally allow. And you realize it's the Halima Aurora Coyote, the psychic class Halimau. It's trying to reach out to you, and you can hear a voice. And Aurora says, "If you run, I can buy you time."
But my friend isn't running.
Celine, this feels like a good moment for your power because you said it shattered. Perhaps a piece breaks off to become a weapon for someone to use.
Yeah, it does. And
What is
so,
what is Celine? What is your sort of most for front facing thought or feeling right now?
I think it's oh man. So I think just how things were happening, she's kind of starting to accept but still fighting the fact that this is her fate.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, okay, maybe it is, but like I don't. No, we can still fight fate. So like she knows this may be where it ends, but like also is just like we're gonna fight to the end, like sort of situations. It's very like that sort of tenseness.
Okay.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, and so I think that I think the shatters around. I think Celine picks up one and sort of has her hands glowing and like sort of like pulls it a bit, and your statue's like just a it's like a winged statue, right?
It used to have
Old winged.
wings, but
Yeah.
you removed them. You
That's what I meant.
took
Like
off the
it was like a
wings.
full body, like marble, like
Yeah.
spiky sort of statue. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna make it like a spear.
Cool.
Yeah, like so she's actually gonna like take the glass, quote unquote, and just like take the bit and just like pull it, and so it's like this like really jagged like top part and just like a smooth like handle, and just hands it to you, and she's like, if you want to stay and fight, you can.
I don't know what I want to do.
Does this sound like a listen to the dark moment? Are we feeling pressure from?
Oh, I am very much feeling pressure. And I have -2 to listen to the dark. Because I am introspective right now. But that feels appropriate. So
All right. So you're currently at a -2. Do you want to spend any tokens to?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 2 tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're rolling a plus zero. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus -0.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I got a 10.
Oh
I'm
my
really glad that I
gosh.
didn't spend another darkness.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
Just on the edge. Wow, awesome. So you managed to keep yourself together. What insight do you gain about your darkness? What insight do you gain about yourself here in this moment?
Interesting. I think the insight that I gain is sort of like, I mean, I think that my sort of loudest instinct right now is to run. But I realize that I sort of don't have to because I have friends here. I'm not alone, right? So I don't think I'm going to run, even though I kind of want to.
Amazing. And I think as that idea, as you come to that conclusion, you can feel Aurora reach out, and there's a sense of gladness, and you can hear, "It's true. We are never alone."
Aw.
And so, yeah, so you get to take the weapon. I assume that's
Mhm.
what's
Yes.
happening. So, Celine, in order to create that perfect weapon, you have to mark one
Already
doom.
did. Yeah, I
Oh,
just did
nice,
that.
nice. Perfect, perfect. Awesome. All right. So, I think this is the perfect time um, to see Civis get ready to use it. Uh, but I think we're gonna cut to Ember right before this happens. But I want a hero shot. What does it look like when Civis picks up the weapon?
Um. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this is probably the first time she's done like a fighting stance, if that makes sense. So she kind of, is holding it and she sort of crouches down a little bit. Um bends her knees, I guess. Um yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I like that, and I feel like the power that Celine has starts to run through you. That same light that we saw with the glowing
Mm,
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think as Civ is holding it, starting it is glowing a bit more. Like,
Neat.
yeah, and it actually feels like it feels tangible, but the weight is like nothing.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
That's rad.
nice, nice, very cool. And then we're gonna cut back to Ember.
Yeah.
And so you hear Rosario, have you always felt this alone?
My mother told me that nobody else could possibly contain the power that I do, that I couldn't ever love another because if they ever exposed to my true self, if they were exposed to my true power, that it would destroy them. And that's what I thought. I thought she was right. I watched her destroy so many in her wake. But then Civ just touched me and they took my power. And then they threw me across the room, which I thought I was trying to protect them and help them and defend them. And I was really hurt by that. But also, I was really kind of amazed because I was like, maybe my mother's wrong. Maybe someone can hold that power. Maybe it wouldn't destroy everybody else. Maybe I'm not poisonous and just destroy everybody who cares about me. Or maybe Civ is just strong enough to hold it within themselves. And I have found another that is my match. What was the question?
Right, right. No, that was the perfect answer. And as you say that, you hear a psst, psst, hey, hey, I found it.
And I think and I'm almost I'm almost like annoyed because like I want to talk to Rosario more and I'm just like so soon, like what like I thought this would take longer. I'm like, I think we cut away and again like only like we're having this sort of silent, only we can hear it communication. And I'm like, what, really, already, are you sure?
Well, did you want me to take my time and not use the power bestowed upon me by your realm? If you wanted me to slack off, you could have mentioned that.
No, slacking is the pedigree of lesser creatures. No, I tell me what you found. She's frustrated, but still intense.
And the imp says, I only have enough power, Master, to deploy one portal, and unfortunately, I have found 3 different facilities that contain the copies.
3, all you do work fast. My mother did not. Is there any difference between them?
Well, one is larger than the rest and has about 2 dozen, while the rest maybe half a dozen of the copies. But and there is And it's trying to figure out if to tell you this information.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to grasp a key and see if you can get a clue out of this imp?
I think so. Yeah. I mean that is essentially end of the day what this creature was summoned to do. Yeah, let's grasp a key. That's a situational move, right?
Basic move.
Basic move.
Yeah.
I think I will. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate all the sheets, and I'm not very proficient at.
No worries, no worries.
I think in talking to Rosario06, I am feeling abandoned, and by my mother, and that she may have been lying to me. And I'm going to take 3 darkness tokens, and I'm going to spend 2 of them on this roll with the imp. And that worked out. That gives me a 10.
Oh, nice, perfect. Okay, so you uncover a key of the apocalypse, and the keeper of the doors will tell you what it is. And so, what do you do to get the imp to comply? Like, do you use kindness, or do you demand from it?
I demand, yeah. I mean, I think it's this weird thing where like I'm like speaking with the imp, and I kind of like sort of phase back out, and Rosario's like, did you hear me? You know, like there's like clearly like time dilates when I speak with the imp, so I can compress more conversation into a very short amount of time, but it's not no time at all. So there's like these little stutters where Ember is clearly like not paying attention or misses something Rosario said. And finally Ember's like, so what does it mean? Does it mean I bring Civ to my mother? Does it mean that my mother was wrong the whole time? And then we flash back, and I just grab the imp, and I like squeeze all the darkness around him, like, tell me what you found, creature. You're bound to me. And like she's being really fierce right now. She's perhaps overreacting with violence, actually. But she's being really fierce right now because she's impatient, because she wants to be able to get back to the conversation with Rosario. Like that's the more important conversation for her right now. It's for Rosario to tell her what to do with Civ.
And that's when you hear the imp go, clap, clap, like gives out this like clap, clap, sputtering sound. Fine. There is a prayer that is activated in the smaller facility with only 3 clones, but it's a virus that's meant to attack every psionic, every psychic within the area. It's activating right now. Put it. Your mother said to leave it be. Your mother said it must happen at whatever cost.
And yeah, Ember, I think like cuts back to Rosario, and I don't know if like Rosario just said something super meaningful and she would like missed it, you know, like if she had just said, you know, the thing that Ember was hoping to find, you know, some true answer, and she's like she looks at it, she's like, what did you say? Oh, I'm really sorry about this. My obligation requires me to leave, Rosario, but I'd really like to catch up with you another time. And then just sort of cuts back and like, take me there now. And I think she's just gonna like poof out of existence, because if the creature can bring a portal, it's just like, just bring me there right now. There's no time. I gotta stop this. And yeah, cuts off. I don't know. Is there any final thing that Rosario says? I feel like anything that she might have said that was useful, Ember is like so distracted by this creature that I don't know if she heard it.
Yeah, and I think like as you poof out of existence, Rosario says, "Oh, but we just finished the ritual." And they look to the side, and we see this future version of Ember who looks very calm, is wearing this crown. Her hair is shorter, and she's looking around, and Rosario says, could you wait here? I'm sure she'll be right back."
Love it. The future Ember shows up just in time for everyone. Gotta go by. Perfect. I think still seeing the crown will resonate with Ember. Even if she doesn't get to talk to her future self.
Awesome, awesome. All right. And so before we see what's going on in that facility, just to be clear about the key that you just unearthed,
Oh yeah.
you found out that 3 of the clones are meant to create or sustain a prayer virus that's meant to kill every psionic on Island Zero and beyond, which
Yeah.
would include. You don't know if it'd be enough to kill Civis because Civis is a very powerful being, but it would at
Mm-hmm.
least hurt Civis because Civis is a psychic being.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
yeah,
certainly the other psychics that are on the
yeah, everyone who's just human is just, it's going to wipe them out.
yeah.
So yeah, anyone who's not as powerful as you. So that would also include the pilots because all the pilots psychically connect to the Halimau.
Absolutely.
But yeah, okay. So we cut back to, we see Civis with the weapon. We see Celine standing. The monster has thrust itself forward and it's turned itself into like all of this, like a huge wave of slime and goo, except the eyes are still floating around in it. And it just tries to drown the both of you, just surging forward. And the smell is just, I don't know if Civis can smell, but Celine, you definitely can. It's really unpleasant. You can see in the background that the pilots are scrambling to get in, but the first one to respond is Aurora Coyote. They're already in the middle of waking up. But you just have a bad feeling about this. You have a feeling that this monster is not supposed to interact with the Halimau in any way. So, what do we do?
I kind of want to put a barrier for the time being between the monster and the Halimas and us. I'm just trying to think which move I'm using.
Oh yeah, so
On Knife's
definitely.
Edge, I believe. I think
Yeah,
I'll use, yeah.
awesome, awesome.
And I'm just gonna use my 2 darkness to go with that. So roll plus darkness. Okay. 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9.
Perfect. Nice, nice.
So I moment serenity take hold 3.
Yeah, very cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm just typing it for you, the 3. But yeah, so how do you want to spend your hold? You can definitely, um, let's see, shield others from terrible danger by channeling the darkness.
Mm-hmm. I definitely want to do that because I am trying to like hold it back while everybody else gets situated, so the Halimas aren't caught off guard or anything like that as they're waking up.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that only takes 1 hold, but your humanity will slip and Mark
That's
Doom
okay.
So what does it look like? Oh, nice, 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 nice. Very cool,
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah, because yeah, Mark Doom unless you spend another hold. Yeah, I'll just Mark Doom. It's fine. I think as like she's hands Civ the sphere, I think her eyes start glowing again and she starts floating up, and then she just puts her hands out and there's just the white aura that comes from the hands and it just shoots off like just like a big old barrier like between that, and I think that's just in time as the wave crashes into that area supposedly trying to get us. So
Absolutely. And so your barrier will hold definitely for sure, but you can feel how it's trying to erode through it. It's trying to suck up the power, but because you're so powerful, you're just channeling continuously. It can't get through, right? But yeah, and then you can, let's see, you can spend your hold in it, but you still have 2 hold left. Civ, do we want to see what it looks like when you attack with this thing?
Yeah, I actually think I want to attack with my brain. I actually want to sort of freeze it, right? And so that it can't move. And so my intention is to unleash the dark on this monster. To enforce my will,
Nice.
because that feels
Nice.
appropriate.
Yeah. Cool.
So
So let's do.
I'm gonna spend my 1 darkness token that I have right now. And I got an 8.
Ooh, perfect, perfect. All right. So you get to choose 2.
I want to get what I want from it, which is to just make it incapable of moving for a while. And then Or do I want that? Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to gain the upper hand for now. Or expose. These are all so good. Oh my god.
Good choices.
I want to get past its defenses, I think, actually.
Nice.
It already told me that it doesn't want to be friends. It just wants to be commanded. So I want to command it.
Ooh, very nice. As that, we'll still let you choose your second option, but I'll just describe what it looks like
Mhm.
as you, as you get past your defenses and inflicting condition. You reach out with your mind and go deep in, and you can hear the words. Have you ever seen Ember's mother before?
I don't think so. No.
So you hear the voice of a woman, and you can sense how it's carrying millennia, like just years and years of power, and you can feel this fire burning within that voice, and it will be enough for it to be sound familiar. It does sort of remind you
Sure.
of Ember. I will say that because you're psychically intimate with Ember, so it's enough to know that there's a similarity there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And you can
Wait,
hear it.
maybe I seen the
Oh,
throne?
I feel like you had some
I
contact
feel
with
like I
it.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no.
I think it's when you borrowed Ember's power. I think you had a glimpse of where it came from, and
That's right. I saw one of your memories or something.
yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Sorry.
No, no, no. Totally cool. Totally cool. Yeah. So as it comes together, you realize you hear her voice, soft and murmuring at first, and then just this huge wave of power and pain and destruction coming from it. And you can hear a voice, I will forge you like a weapon. Through your pain, you will be of use to me, like my daughter.
Don't like that. Mm-mm.
And so like the psychic feedback, you can see that it forms back into its shape, like it lets go of that slime form, and it like it comes back in, almost painfully. You can see it spike out its physical form as it pulls back into itself, um, and its eyes blinking, and you can hear it in its strange language begging, but you can see that you'll need pain in order to control it.
Okay. Yeah. Is the inflicted condition, is that something that a condition that I have to pick, or is that
Oh no, that happens on my end. Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Cool.
But good
Um,
question. Yeah.
I think for my second one, I want to gain the upper hand for now. And I think what that might look like is like psychic mind blasts from me.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, and so I like the idea of like just one after another, and you're
Mm-hmm.
using, maybe you're using the weapon, the spear, to like, um, you notice like as the mind blasts go off, the spear points you towards where to
Oh, neat.
focus each time. Like the spear just keeps
cool.
moving back and forth, and so you can feel its pain. It's like it's starting to calm down, but it's shifting back and forth. It slams against the metal structure. More of it starts to rend, uh, and that's when you start to see off in the distance. There is just so much of the forest is just covered in this slime,
Mm.
and it just seems to extend all the way out towards the rift, and you can see like you realize that what you're fighting with is like the first of the wave. Like there's a
Oh,
reason why
great.
it's so
Mm-hmm.
tiny.
Yeah.
It's so tiny. It's only 10 stories tall. It's
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and so Celine, would you like to spend any more of your hold before we switch back to Ember?
Yes. I think my next hold I'm going to use is Unleash the Dark, as if I rolled an 8 to 10.
Nice, awesome.
But since I'm not going to mark an condition, because if I do, then that's the end of the game. So I'm going to just have collateral damage. So I think as I guess this wall is like pulsing off energy, I think it just like does like a massive pulse. And with that, there may be some structural damage to the facility.
I mean, come on, you can't have giant 10-story kaiju monster battles without buildings getting knocked over, ceilings collapsing,
Look at you.
superstructures getting crushed. Absolutely.
Yeah, so just the building is like starting to fall apart, and like maybe there's more alarms going off. Who knows?
Yeah, I like the idea. Like it starts shaking like a Star Trek like kind of ship situation. So everything is shaking, and all these vents open up. There's all these blasts of air trying to like put out these fires that have started up in various areas of the facility. But you said that it was like a pulse. You unleashed a huge pulse of energy.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say that if you get past its defenses just one more time to inflict the condition, you're going to completely destroy it. So do you want to destroy it, or do you want to keep it like as a tame pet?
Come back to me. I don't know yet.
All right, we'll come back to you mid-move. No worries. It happens very often for the purists. So, like, all this power. So we cut back to I think there's a moment where Rosario and the older version of Ember are talking to each other, and Rosario's like, well, since you're here, would you like to have a session? And
Love it.
and the older Ember is like, well, it's been a week since the last one, so sure, why not? Right. And she sits down. She's very calm in comparison.
Nice. I like the idea that older Ember could look down at like the runes that's etched in the ground and totally know what younger Ember is up to. Like, oh, you didn't see, Rosario didn't see this, but like, oh, my younger self totally like summoned some creature here. That's, the smell of sulfur, the Bamf disappearing. Yep. She's off doing something.
Yeah. In fact, I'll say that the older Ember starts to erase the evidence so that Rosario won't find it.
God, love it.
And then we cut back to, so you go through the portal, you find yourself in one of the 3 facilities that the imp mentioned. I assume you're sort of like still holding him by the neck.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like, take me there now, and like, like holding onto him, and then we, boom. I mean, maybe he could escape my grip in the void of the portal. I'm not sure, but yeah, it seems like we would come through.
And as you come through, he's like sputtering. It's good to see that the cruelty has been passed down through the generations, as is appropriate of the queen of the Obsidian Throne. Your mistress, your queenness here. And so he bows, and it shows like all around. You can see that there are 3 large tubes. They're kind of reminiscent of what the Halima tubes look like, except they're smaller, like just human size. But the technology looks similar. And it's the same kind of orangey liquid in each one. And you can see it's unnerving. It really looks like 3 Seleniums. And the tubes are all facing each other, like there are 3 of them, and they're facing each other, tops of the tubes against each other, and they each have their hands clasped. But you can see that there are these chains around them with inscriptions. You can see each of them are in pain as they're forced to go through this prayer. And you can see one has long hair, one has hair that's cut short. You can see another that's completely bald. And when you come through, they're still murmuring the prayer, but all of them turn their heads to look at you. And they speak, but each word is just distributed among each one. So it's kind of disconcerting. Like, and their voices are slightly different. You can tell one is older, one is younger, but they speak in, it's not quite unison, right? Just one after another. And, but they say to you together, Ah, the one who serves the walking queen. But you're almost too late. We have taken what we need.
And I say, Ember sort of steps forward, and she's like about to say something about like, I don't serve anybody. I'm my own boss. You're not the boss of me. My mom doesn't get to tell me what to do. But there's something more urgent going on, and she says, "What is this spell you're casting? You must end it now." And she like kind of reaches back, and as she like as though she's going to draw a sword from her side, there's no sword at her side. But when she like does the drawing action, three blades appear next to each of the chains, right? Like and hovering over them as though she would cut the chains that are holding onto them. But you know, it's like the sword drawn and ready to strike, but not. The blood's all over the air. And she asks them to stop, and with an implicit threat that if they don't, she's ready to wreck some chains.
Yeah, and so when you do that, they don't take their eyes off of you. Like they're not even looking at the swords, and they simply say, "If you would destroy these bodies, new ones would form, and the prayer would continue." We have been destroyed many times by those who would try to save this place, and each time, well, do you want to try to grasp a key and see what information you can get out of them?
Yeah, I do. Morgan and Jen, do you mind if I'm key grabbing here?
Gotta get them keys.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. When we come back to them, they can punch a key out of the monster. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Celine, not Celine, sorry. I think Ember sort of like, I think she pauses and like the swords just clatter to the ground, clank, 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 clank. You know, she was ready to do violence, and she's like, they all look like Celine of some version, and she says, um, whatever force binds you, um, I know I. Why do I say whatever force? I know my mother binds you. I will set you free of her. Help me, and I will set you free of her spell. And that's so instead of threatening with violence in this case, which is kind of Ember's go-to, or not threatening with violence, just jumping right to violence. That's kind of Ember's go-to. She's going to try and convince them to help her. So let's see. Let's grasp at them keys. How many darkness tokens do I have right now? I have 2. I will spend them. That sounds good. And roll. And that is 8 plus 2 is 10.
Ooh.
So keys are
taken. Nice,
taken.
nice. Awesome. So yeah, so on that, as you tell them, and when you mention your mother, they look confused and they say, "No, it's father who takes care of us."
And I sort of look at the imp creature who had said that, you know, it was a spell, my mother, and then I kind of realized, oh no, she wanted them to keep casting it, but it's not her that was making them do it. You know, it kind of clicks for Ember, and she says, "Who is father then?"
Father created us to protect. And then they pause for a moment, and it's as if they forgot what they were saying. Father created us in order to destroy, and then they pause again.
Can I tell the source of like what's? It seems like they're trying to tell me the truth, and then something's interrupting. Mm-hmm. Can I find the source of that and like hit it with a sword? I'd like to find absolutely. The source of
the Absolutely.
I don't know if that's the chains or the runes or whatnot.
But, yeah. So you notice like on top of the tubes, there's another smaller tube. And even though it's an orange liquid that's in it, this tube carries like this bright cyan liquid. And as you cut off each one, like the color starts to drain from inside the tubes, and the water itself also starts to move away, like it starts to get sucked back in into
Yeah.
like wherever it came from. And so as it slowly starts to empty out, you can see them slowly blink, and they say, once again, each word is like shared among the three of them, but as the liquid leaves, that stops happening. Like they start forming their own sentences and their own thoughts away from each other. And they say, she tried to stop us, the young pilot Luna, but Master removed her memories, all of them. They've each tried to save us because we are meant, they tried to save us, but Father made sure they couldn't remember. They're still important to the plan. They can't be destroyed, not yet. And so as they say that, you notice like there are these old like screens. Like it's not the same like flashy technology from above.
Mhm.
Like there are these old flickering screens behind them. And you can see one of the clones reaches out and she touches the screen. We'll show you what Father looks like. And you can see this like figure in like a lab coat, but it's weird. Every time the camera focuses on him, when it comes on his face, there's this weird scratching motion, there's this moving shadow, and it
Right.
kind of, it looks so much like what you saw like when you connected to Civ, like in that moment. um you realize that that's what they're talking about. Whoever created Civ is also behind
Is
this.
also behind all this. Um, yeah, and I think Ember like looks up like in the direction that like unerringly she know, even though they're separated by like many floors. And then like for the very first time in all this realizes like klaxons have been going off this entire time because like there's like a fight going on and like a red alert, but she's just been way too way too distracted by other things, and clearly with the intent like to tell Civ that their creator is here, that their creator is behind all of this stuff. um do I get the sense that they can tell me where he is, where Father is?
Yeah.
Can do
As you ask that question, like in your mind, like all three of them turn to look at you, and this time they say in unison, but he is everywhere that he needs to be. He's watching us even now. And like the one who has her hand on the screen, this is the long-haired one, by the way, like she has her hand on the screen. You can see she's using the last of her energy to push it forward. You can see all of a sudden it's like this uncomfortable close-up onto his shadowy flickering face.
mm-hmm.
And he says, why should only these monsters from the rift have these powers? I would gift all of the world with them and make sure we are as powerful as the rest of the realms. And as that happens, um, she turns to you and she says, he's watching even now. You can summon him like you summoned. And then very suddenly, all three of them drop down into the ground and they
Oh
slowly
no,
start. And you can see they're starting to lose their form. Like they're starting to look translucent.
Celine, I killed three of your of your
Good.
clones. Ember has this like look of like, I broke it, like oh no, what did I do? And I broke this thing. Like she just sort of looks and she's like, feels very bad about accidentally killing three of Celine's clones. She was hoping to sort of set them free, and but she says, you carry an aspect of Celine with you, and for that, I am still indebted to you. I will tell Civ of their creator if they do not know already, and we'll stop him. And it's like she's trying to like honor their sacrifice, but is also like extremely uncomfortable. Like, why are you falling apart right now? But like but you are important and you matter and you're part of Celine and I hope to reunite you, and that does not look like what's happening. Um,
Yeah, and I think the imp is not helping because he goes, all right, I'll take what's left. Could be useful. And then you see him open another portal and he's dragging the clones in towards it.
Yeah, I don't have any time. I yell Civ, and I think I'm gonna run up towards where I think where they are, because you got to know your pops is what's behind it all. Not that you haven't figured that out already, but Ember doesn't know that. So
Awesome. Okay. All right.
I was just gonna say, is that a good time to take a break?
Yeah, I was about to say that actually. So we're psychically linked. Yeah, so shall we take a break before we get into the rest of the mystery?
Sounds good. All right, friends, we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll see if we can find Civ's creator in that time. All right, see everybody soon.